Maki, thank you. A lot of New Yorkers will tell you it's hard to make ends meet in this state due to high taxes. Earlier this week, Republicans in the state Senate unveiled their plan to try to make it more affordable.
New York State is undeniably the tax capital of the U.S. We, per capita, have the highest tax burden, both property and income tax.
Among the proposals, cutting the personal income tax rate over the next decade, eventually to the point where a married couple would pay no tax on their first $100,000 in income. The plan is also to remove taxes on overtime and tips and address property taxes by having the state absorb the full cost of Medicaid from the counties by the year 2034. Three of several proposals. State Senator George Borrello represents the southern tier portion of Western New York, and he joins us live here tonight. You were at that news conference and talking. I want to ask you about some of the things that you mentioned there and some of the specific proposals. But first, big picture, walk me through why you and your colleagues felt like you needed to really kind of put this long list out of a bunch of proposals to address this.
Well, first of all, I think it's no secret that New York State spends more per capita than any other state in the nation. Just to give you an example, the state of Pennsylvania, which has 13 million people, their budget this year is $53 billion. And we have 19.5 million people, so less than 50% more. And ours is, the proposed governor's budget is $260 billion, 5 times as much as the state of Pennsylvania. And the list goes on. And here's the reality. We want to keep your money in your pocket, the money that you've earned, that your family has earned. Democrats and the governor seem to think that they know how to spend your money better than you do, and they want you to turn it over to them. And what has that gotten us here in New York State? Well, it's gotten us, unfortunately, more people leaving New York State than any other state in the nation. We lead the nation in out-migration. We're at the bottom of every list when it comes to everything from taxes to business competitiveness to quality of life. And that's the issue here. All this spending hasn't made things more affordable and better in New York State, and it's time for that to change.
One of the things that really stood out to me here was the proposal for the state to eventually absorb the full cost of Medicaid, because that is such an expense on our counties, and that's why property taxes in large measure are so high across New York. The question is, it's really hard to cut spending. How do you cut enough spending in the state budget to be able to deliver that type of tax relief to New Yorkers?
Well, there's a number of ways you can go about doing that. We discussed it here, but let me address the first and foremost that New York State is suffering from billions and billions of dollars of fraud, waste, and abuse in our system. That has to be cut. If we address just the fraud that has been identified by the state comptroller's office, Tom DiNapoli, fellow Democrat, if you would just address that fraud alone, we could save probably 10% in our budget right there. Also, we have to cap spending. Medicaid, you brought that up. Right there alone, that takes up the lion's share of our budget. And as you mentioned, it is also what raises our property taxes. In Chautauqua County, where I am, 50 cents of every property tax dollar that's collected goes to cover just the local share of Medicaid. In Erie County, 100%, every single cent that is collected for property taxes in Erie County goes just to pay the local share of Medicaid. And we have the largest, most bloated, most inefficient, and most corrupt Medicaid system in the country.
In terms of finding ways to get a proposal like this across the finish line, you obviously need Democratic votes. They control the Senate, the Assembly, and the governor's office. The governor has proposed a couple of much smaller things to lower taxes, lowering the rate just a little bit, taxes on tips and overtime and that sort of thing. Do you think that's a good first step, or is that just wholly inadequate?
Well, it's certainly inadequate because we're in a crisis here when it comes to losing population and, again, losing businesses. But let me say this. We proposed a year ago, the Republican caucus proposed no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. And the governor poo-pooed it at the time. And now it's in her budget proposal. So I'm hoping she will adopt many of these proposals in her 30-day amendments and in the final adopted budget. New Yorkers need real relief. She can talk about these gimmicks, $200 checks and here and there to people, but the reality is keep more of your own money that you earned. That's the best way to ensure that New Yorkers can prosper and that they can have the money that they need to take care of their families and not leave this state, quite frankly, for states that are, less expensive and where they have more freedoms.
No doubt about it. We hear it from taxpayers all the time across New York in the public polling and talk to anyone. The tax burden is a lot. 57th District State Senator George Borrello. Have a great weekend, sir. Thanks for your time.
You too. Thank you so much.
All right.